In this video, we'll look at how you can find the IP address of IP cameras. No special tools required, just a computer. I have two cameras here that we'll be using for the test. This one is a JoeVision camera. It's an IP camera, and the IP address is not known. We'll try to find the IP address. And this one is a ZKTeco camera, but ZKTeco cameras come with their IP addresses boldly written on them. So what we'll do is that as we find the IP address of this, we'll also try to confirm the IP address of this one to be sure that the process we are looking at really shows you the IP address. You can see the IP address of this one written here. So we'll use it to confirm the test that we are going to do right now. On the computer, I have a VMS installed on the computer through which we'll use to find the IP addresses of the cameras that we have here. You can get a JoeVision VMS at joevisionsecurity.com. Under the support tab, when you come to download, you will be able to find a VMS software to install on your computer. There are two options here: the VMS 6100, the 32-bit for those using the 32-bit operating system, and then the 64-bit version for a 64-bit operating system. So you can get the VMS software to install from here. So now let's go back to the one I've installed on my computer. So I'll double click on it to open it up and wait for it to load up. Then we can continue from there. This is the login interface of the VMS, and my username is already here. So I will input my password into it in order to log on. So I'll click on login after putting in the password. So we'll wait for it to load the interface. All right, so at this point, we'll come to device management and double click to open device management. So this is the device management page. So we'll from here go back to connect the computer and the camera so that the camera can talk to the VMS software, of which we'll now come back to search for the camera. So let's connect the computer and the camera together. I will use the network cable to plug into the network interface of the camera and also plug it into the computer. Apart from the network connection, we will have to power up the camera. So I have here a DC power supply that I will use to connect to the camera so that the camera can be powered on. So now that this is done, we'll then have to go into the software and try to search for this camera so that we can discover the IP address. So from the computer, we have already loaded the device management page. So now that we have connected the computer and the camera together, all we have to do is to come to search devices and then click on the search. So let the search run so that if the camera is found on the network, it would load it up. It hasn't discovered it yet, so I'll run the search again. Perhaps the camera hasn't fully initialized, so we'll carry it out until we find the camera. All right, so you can currently see the camera listed here. You can see that the camera is listed here, and it has shown the IP address of the cameras. I can point to you here. It's 192.168.1.64, and then the device port is also stated there. So to confirm that this is the camera, when you even go to a web page, you will be able to find that camera by inputting that IP address. So we can input 192.168.1.64. When you input it, it should take you to the interface of the camera. And so this one is asking us to activate the camera for us to be able to log on to its interface. So let's try and create the login or the activation. Let's try to activate it so that we can enter the camera to confirm that it's truly the IP address of the camera. So what we'll do is that let's create a password for it. 1 2 3 4. Let's say ABCD. That's the password I'm choosing for it for now. 1 2 3 4 ABCD. So that's the password I've chosen. There are some few security questions that you are required to answer before you can get the camera activated. So you need to answer those questions, then you can go ahead. So you need to provide answers to those security questions. Let me say, give just answers to these questions. So once it's done, you can see activation successful. So the camera has been activated. So now when we enter the password that we created, we can log into this camera successfully. So it means that we have logged into the camera through the IP address, which confirms that that is truly the IP address of the camera. You can confirm that from the address bar 192.168.1.64, which tells you that that is the IP address of the camera, or this particular camera we have connected. So let's try to also confirm the IP address of the ZKTeco camera. So what we'll do is that we'll disconnect the Jovision camera, and then the same connections that we did for the Jovision camera we'll do for the ZKTeco camera. So the connections, the connection that is coming from the computer is what we'll plug into the network, and then we would also provide it with the power connection. So once we do this, it means that it's powered on. The video or the signal from the camera is traveling into the computer. So we'll go back and confirm the IP address. But for your information, here is the factory assigned IP address on the camera. This particular camera has been given a factory assigned IP, of which they've boldly written on the device for you. So we'll confirm to see that we'll get this 192.168.1.86. That should be the camera's IP address that we are supposed to discover on the software. So let's go to the software and again check. So from the software, we would, as usual, run the search. What we have here is the previous camera. So we'll carry out the search again. We'll click on search. We would allow it to search through and then discover that camera for us. And as you can see here, it has successfully discovered the camera. When you look at the IP address, it's 192.168.1.86, which is the IP address of the ZKTeco camera, as we have already seen. We can as well test that IP address by logging into the interface of the camera through the IP address we have just seen. So we can type the 192.168.1.86, and when we enter, it brings us to the interface of the ZKTeco camera. The username is already there, admin, and the default password for the camera is 123456. When we log in, it should take us to the interface of the camera. And so for ZKTeco cameras, it takes you direct to the video interface of the camera. So you can see videos of the ZKTeco camera on your screen, and you can see it's a live video through the web interface or the IP address that we have just discovered for the camera through the VMS software. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please ensure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet subscribed, and give this video a thumbs up if you find value in it. Thank you once again. See you in the next video. Bye bye.